The Chicago Bulls get an unexpected big win against the Boston Celtics, 117-108. This one was powered by the 36 points from Zach LaVine. We're going to talk about it all and more, but you know what we got to do first? We got to play that intro.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host, Sir Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into it for today and break down this game. Zach LaVine scores 36 points, going 11 of 19 from the field, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, only 1 turnover from Zach LaVine. This is not only one of Zach LaVine's best games this season. This may be one of Zach LaVine's best games in the last few years, not because of the points per game, the point total alone, but because how Zach LaVine really led this team from the start. Every time the Bulls needed a big shot, it was Zach LaVine in this game. But he got some big help in the second half of this game from Ayo Dosunmu, who scores 17 points overall in this game, goes 7 of 14 from the field, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Overall, the Bulls team protected the ball really well today. Overall, only 10 turnovers from the Bulls total in the game. When you look at the second half of this game, out of Ayo Dosunmu's 17 points, 12 of those came in the second half of this game. That's how good Ayo Dosunmu was over the course of this game. And the Bulls eliminated some of the things that have been plaguing them. Only 44 points allowed in the paint today. We've been averaging over 51 points allowed in the paint per game. That was good. Only 10 points allowed off turnovers as well. Still a little bit higher than what I would like it to be, but the Bulls took care of that business as well, and it helped them in this game, propelled them to this win. And the Chicago Bulls outshot the Boston Celtics today, which is a big thing of what helped them win this game. They went 19 of 52 from three-point range. They shot in over 50 three-pointers of 4 of the last 5 games. They only shot 36%, but it was good enough because the Boston Celtics went 14 of 56 today for 25%. That discrepancy we have not seen against a team with the firepower of Boston Celtics. The Bulls be able to win the math battle there. That was a key part of this game. And overall, when you look at it, the Bulls shoot 44% overall. They 87% from the free throw line as well. And they got some calls in this game that went the Bulls' way. And we've not always been able to say that either, that the Bulls get calls to go their way, and they did in this game, and they took advantage of it. This was one of those games where, listen, the Bulls really came in here, and they showed a lot of heart, a lot of determination in the game like this, and we knew that this game was going to come down to offense, right? As it so often does for the Chicago Bulls. But it wasn't just the offense. There were some key defensive plays made in this game by Patrick Williams, by Ayo Dosunmu, that really helped this team be able to win this game against the defending NBA champions and one of the best teams in the NBA overall. When you look at it, the Bulls offense out-executed the Boston Celtics offense today. And the thought, after coming out of the first half was that the Celtics were going to try to go to the paint even more because their 3-ball wasn't falling for them. And they just weren't able to get that done at the level that you would have thought they were. Now, some Celtics still had big nights. You still got 31 points from Jason Tatum, 20 points from Kristaps Porzingis, 19 points from Jaylen Brown, 16 points from Derek White. Peyton Pritchard still had 14 off the bench. They still scored 108 points. But keep in mind, this is a Bulls defense that averages allowing 121 points per game. And against the defending champion Boston Celtics, one of the most high-powered offenses in the league, the Bulls were able to hold them to 108 points. You got to give a team credit for that. And I know they had a bad shooting night, did the Boston Celtics, and a lot of people are going to credit it to that more than the Bulls defense. But the Bulls defense did enough in this game. And that's what we've talked about a lot this season. It's not this Bulls defense doesn't have the capability to be a lockdown defense for real. But if they're able to give enough effort, that's what you need. And look, listen, every starter scored in double digits. You got 14 points from Patrick Williams in this game, 16 points and 14 rebounds from Nikola Vucevic in this game, which was really big. He didn't have a good rebounding night the first half of the game. He rebounded really well in the second half. 4 assists, 1 block from him as well. You got 12 points from Kobe White, going 4 of 11 from the field. Kobe. Yeah, I would say this, and I've said this even before. Billy Donovan got to grow some balls, and when Josh Giddey does get back healthy, a change needs to happen in that starting lineup. That's all I'm going to say. A change needs to happen in that starting lineup, and the longer you avoid it, the longer you're going to hurt your team. But 12 points from Kobe White. Already talked about Ayo Dosunmu, 17 points. You got 10 points from Julian Phillips, who he's starting to round out really nicely and get back into rhythm after missing some time with some injury, kind of looking more like what he did prior to, in the preseason. When you look at Julian Phillips' last 3 games, he's averaging double-digit figures. And that's really good for him over those right below it. 28 points over the last 3 games, so he's right there, and he's starting to turn some things around. Last 3 games, he shot the ball over 40% in each game, 60% and 80% the last 2, 42% tonight. But he made some big shots. He had 5 rebounds as well tonight. That was really important. He had some bad fouls, but as a young player, we'll forgive a little bit of that. The Bulls have 22 points off the bench, 10 of those coming from him, 9 coming from THT, the other 3 coming from Lonzo Ball. Jalen Smith, he didn't even take a shot today. Now, I don't know if that's just maybe what the game plan was, is that they knew that this wasn't going to be a game where Jalen Smith was going to have a lot of offense. But he has 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover. But overall, not really what we've come accustomed to seeing, how Jalen Smith really impacts the game for the Bulls over the last couple of since he basically came here. But, we'll see how it goes. But overall, the Bulls get a solid team win, led and powered by Zach LaVine. And the Boston Celtics are coming for blood. Make no mistake about it. This ain't done. The Boston Celtics in Chicago on Saturday, they coming back for blood. Did you see how upset Joe Mazzulla was? I mean, already when that challenge was called in the second half and they didn't overturn it and they called a foul on Drew Holiday, that was a big momentum shift there. And Joe Mazzulla, he was pissed by the ref. Tony Brothers had him hot today. Tony Brothers does that to a lot of people with his eyebrow ass, but it worked out in the favor of the Bulls today. And this is really good. But all the momentum, all the talk around things right now with the Bulls that had nothing to do with the basketball court, it's good that the Bulls come out of a break and they get a dub. That's a really important thing, is they come out and they get a dub. And shout out to the Bulls, man. They move now to 13-15 in the season. I think now they move into the firmly in the 9th spot in that Eastern Conference. And hey, I mean, as we're talking about the Bulls possibly making some trades to blow up their roster a little bit, it could be coming down that the Bulls, they're looking pretty good right now. They're in that 8th spot. They have a half a game lead over the Indiana Pacers for that 8th spot. And we'll see what the Bulls do. It'll be the most Bulls-like thing to string together these wins that they have strung together. They're now on a 3-game winning streak. And then to somehow start fumbling it here towards the end of the year. Let's hope that that's not the case. Knock on wood. We're not going to, really speak that into existence. But, hey, really good win by the Bulls. And this is a feel-good win. This is the type of win that maybe you can start building some confidence on. And like I said, while, some other players didn't necessarily score at the level that we need them to, everybody contributed to this win. Patrick Williams played some really good defense today. It's on, and even on Kristaps Porzingis. I know Kristaps still scored 20 points, but he probably would have had closer to 30 if Vooch had to guard him all night. P. Will continues to be kind of Billy Donovan's Swiss Army knife defensively. And for a team that doesn't have a lot of defensive firepower, having Patrick Williams be able to guard out on the perimeter, come down and guard a big when you need him to. Lonzo Ball with his activity, even though Lonzo didn't shoot the ball effectively at all today, 1 for 7. Lonzo's had some pretty bad shooting nights in a row. I know he hit the big clutch shot in the last game, but, Lonzo, shot's going to come around for Lonzo. When you look at Lonzo so far, he's shooting 32% for the month of December. Over the last 3 games, Lonzo Ball has made 4 of 22 shots. And so that's not typically what you expect from Lonzo Ball, right? You expect him to shoot the ball a lot better than that. And I do think it's going to come around eventually. Going 5 of 22 is just not commonly what you see from Lonzo. So I'm sure that's going to come around. But, he made some big energy plays, some big defensive plays, heads-up plays like we come to expect from Lonzo. That shot's probably going to come around for him at some point. Still had a positive impact on this game for sure, though. Let's go ahead and see how you guys are feeling about it. We got Dario in the building. Says Mazzulla wanted to fight Tony Brothers. I mean, Tony Brothers is an irritating ass, right? He just has a punchable face. Tony Brothers just has a real punchable face. Joe wanted all the smoke. What did I watch? You watch the Bulls come out and do Bulls like things, because this is the type of Bulls win, right? Struggle against the Nets, struggle against lesser teams, and come in and get and damn near double digit win over the Boston Celtics. Like that's the type. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes for this Bulls team. Missoula's ready to throw hands. Don't care. Bulls win. Hey, listen. Fuck your feelings, Joe Mazzulla. We got the dub. That's the most important thing. I don't care how it happens. You got the dub. And that's what the Bulls need to do, right? The last couple of wins I've called take care of business wins. This was more than a take care of business win. This was hey, we caught you slipping win, right? And that's what the Bulls did. They caught the Celtics slipping. And when the Bulls have their offense is rocking and rolling, they're going to catch some teams slipping. And when they do catch teams slipping, and I tell you what a dub, man. Ayo was hooping. Ayo in the second half of this game was on fire, bro. And I want to hear refs gave us the game, credit the Bulls. Oh, yeah. No, listen, the Bulls' way they execute, that's not. Zach's post-game, I didn't see it. I'm live. What did he say post-game? Great team effort win, but Ayo was just on another level in this game. LaVine, as usual, with his offensive power. I mean, yeah, listen, Zach LaVine today, it was more than just usual from Zach LaVine. Zach was motivated, bro. Great win tonight. It feels so good to see the Bulls bust the Celtics ass. Hey, listen, Wilton, whatever you're I mean, hey, is that your Pornhub search? Busted ass? That's crazy. Zach showing the Nuggets and any other contenders what they need to beat Boston. I won't say that, because keep in mind, Boston didn't shoot at their normal level. And so while I'll give some credit to the Bulls defense for sure, it's not like the Bulls have the blueprint, right? Now, let's see if they can do it again. My tone may change on that if the Bulls can do it again on Saturday. Man, I was watching the game on the Celtics broadcast. Those dudes are pure haters. You would think the Bulls are the world champions. I don't listen to any other broadcast, but unless it's on a nationally televised game where I can't get the Bulls broadcast, but that's all I listen to, because our commentary team's the best. Man, Zach was an effing killer tonight. Does he know something we don't? Either way, respect. Hey, listen, it's amazing what potentially going to a championship team can motivate you, right? Like, and I'm not saying that's the case. We've seen Zach LaVine have big nights for teams with much less talent than this current Bulls team had. So I'm not going to, slap Zach LaVine in the face or ignore the contribution of the way that he played to just say that it just comes down to him trying to audition for the Nuggets or whatever it is. But Zach LaVine played a really damn good game today, and it's good to see Zach LaVine play a game like this. Well, we beat Boston in their house and got their coach to snap. Yeah, I mean, that's always fun. Always fun. Yeah, Zach trying to play his way out. I mean, that's the thing. If the Nuggets are already interested, I don't know if he necessarily has to play himself out, right? Vaughn, I'm hyped. Hey, listen, Vaughn, I got your text message too. Of course, I've been in game mode, but yeah, I'm hyped too, brother. The Celtics salty as hell. The Bulls spanked that ass. Payback, baby. Any given day, right? That's what I always say. It's any given day in sports, right? In any sport, it's really any given day. Any team can win at any time. It just depends on if you're prepared for that moment, and is it your night? Can you take advantage of a hot night, right? And that's what the Bulls absolutely did today. Honestly, like the team without Giddey. Here we go. I knew it was going to start. Somebody was going to say it. Somebody was going to say it. The big green dummies went down. Shout out to JDH. Can't wrap my head around those late texts, fast calls that look kind of fishy. Listen, I don't care. The Bulls got dubs. I don't give a shit about that. Let the NBA in the last 2-minute report or whatever, let them do that shit. Ayo was effing unreal in the second half. Ayo's second half, man. The second half of basketball for Ayo today was just ridiculous, man. Talked about the 12 points, but not even just the 12 points, right? He had 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 12 points, and he had a plus minus of plus 17 in the second half of this game. The highest plus minus in the second half of this game is, for what it's worth. I mean, the highest plus minus. For what it's worth, Kobe White went 3 of 6 in the second half as well for 9 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. But Kobe just got maybe the second half could be a wake-up call for Kobe White as well. We need way better from Kobe. Ayo needs to start. Kobe is a shooting threat, so I think he should too. Also, Taylor looks like a keeper for real. Still can't believe teams or NBA casuals act like Zach is ass. The whole last year where people were completely tearing him down is crazy, right? Good evening, Hayes. That Sprite dunk that Jason did had me rolling on the floor. That is hilarious. Winton, the way the Bulls won this game without Josh Giddey says a lot for the Bulls moving forward. It's one game. It's one game, and the Boston Celtics didn't shoot well. I don't think one game says a lot about any, and that's just in any team in any sport. I don't say one game changes a lot. Now, if the Bulls do this again against Boston on Saturday, then you got something. But one game doesn't change a lot in any shape, form, or fashion, in my opinion. My favorite Bulls win of the year so far. Hey, listen, but considering it's against the defending champions, you got to put this one up there. You got to put this one right up there. Ayo was looking like super. That's funny. Super tonight. Hey, man. Hey, Ayo played his ass off today. He definitely played his ass off today. You got to give a lot of credit for Ayo Dosunmu. Ayo Dosunmu is such a, like I said, it's such a different thing when he's starting. And that just really is the case. When Ayo Dosunmu's in a starting lineup and he's able to kind of ebb and flow, it's so big for him. Looks like we're reverting back to the trade Kobe sucks narrative. No, listen, we're not going to go to that. I didn't, at least not me. It's not about trading Kobe. It's about Kobe waking the hell up, right? Kobe got to play better. And like I've said many times before, anybody who sees a player struggling is like, oh my God, they suck. We need to trade them. It's like, why would you want to trade a player while their value is at an all-time low? What do you think you're going to get back? What do you think you're going to get back? Nothing. Well, I thought wrong tonight. We actually won against the C's. I mean, listen, I don't think anybody's going to blame you for not expecting the Bulls to be able to get a win against this Boston Celtics team, with especially how bad the Bulls defense has been. But hey, they got the dub. Forrest, great win tonight. Now y'all don't start going crazy. I watched the pre-show. Hey, listen, they going to start going crazy, bro. It is what it is. Smith played defense today. No, he did not. Jalen Smith did not play any defense at all today. We were a huge negative when he was on the court today. I can see. Let's see our defensive rating with Jalen Smith on the court. We had a defensive rating of almost 130 with Jalen Smith on the court today. Keep in mind, the lower number is the better number with defensive rating. Jalen Smith did not play good defense today. Not at all. Not at all. Jalen Smith is not. He's not a good defender. He's just not a good defender at all. He's just not. William Waters, we were physical. I like that. Listen, and that when you don't have the defensive IQ, right? Sometimes you just got to beat motherfuckers up. That's just really got to, like, you just got to beat people up, right? And that's what the Bulls tried to do today. They got physical. They didn't allow the Boston Celtics runs to get in their head. That's something that the Bulls have done a lot, over the last couple of years, is that when other teams go on runs, they allow it to get in their head. And so, I'm glad that this team did not allow that today, because that would have completely ruined the momentum that the Bulls were building. Just quietly, Bulls 5 out of their last 7, 4 of which against teams they were expected to win against, but it's a nice run. Listen, take these runs. Take these runs, because we don't know how many of those are going to be over the course of the season because of what this team may do at the trade deadline. So let's take these wins now. Let's take these wins now. This is crazy. They can't even tank. They're not tanking. Like, I don't know how much we got to tell. The Bulls are not tanking. Now, they may be bad enough to just be bad, right? But this team is not a tanking team. This is not a team that's out there trying to lose games. This isn't a coaching staff that's out there trying to lose games. Like, they're just not. They're just not. Kobe and Giddey are defensive liabilities. Billy used his bench well tonight. Got to give Billy credit where credit's due. I agree with that. Definitely agree with that. Hey, somewhere AK is smiling, thinking that he needs to keep the team together so we can make a push for the play. Oh, absolutely. 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 AK is absolutely looking at it. He's looking at the standings. He's looking at this. Listen, let the Bulls beat the Boston Celtics by 10 points on Saturday. He may call up Denver and be like, hey, Denver, don't call us no more. We're going to keep Zach. Don't even, I'm changing my number. Don't even call us no more. Thank you. We not. We're not trying to trade Vooch no more. We about to pass y'all in the standings. Matter of fact, so we'll see y'all on the court. Like that that's something that AK could realistically do. It's actually crazy how well we play at home compared to in Chicago. You mean on the road compared to in Chicago? Come on, BKR. Like, you got them Shea. You had that Shea mistake there, bro. You had that Shea mistake there. Don't be surprised if Kristaps Porzingis doesn't play next game, because I don't think they're playing him in back-to-backs due to his injuries. We'll see. I haven't paid attention if they're playing them in back to backs or not. So I won't even act like I know if they are or not because I really don't. I really don't. Don't do this to me, Hayes. Don't say we need to bench Kobe. I didn't say that. I didn't say that they need to bench Kobe. I'm just saying that you may need to look at a change in the starting lineup. I mean, it's just Ayo Dosunmu is so much better as a starter. It's ridiculous. Like it's really night and day. Ayo Dosunmu's production as a starter versus coming off the bench, it's night and day. And when you're not getting production out of one of, I mean, you could say that both of your starting guards in Zach LaVine, I'm sorry, in Josh Giddey and Kobe White have been disappointing in different ways this season. Yeah, I just think that if this team really is trying to win basketball games, Ayo Dosunmu's making a case for him needing to be in that starting lineup. And that's all I'm saying. Regardless of who they bench or not, I'm just saying that there's something to be said about that. When you look at Ayo this season as a starter, almost 16 points per game, 55% shooting, 38% shooting from three. When you look at him as coming off the bench, 9 points per game, 40% shooting from the field, and 32% shooting from three. There's something you got to look at there. There's just something you got to look at there, is all I'm saying. Zach continues to show he's one of the best scorers in yeah, and that's the thing. Zach LaVine, from the start of the 2018 season till when he went down with injury last season, there had only been 10 players in the entirety of the NBA who scored more points than Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is one of the best scorers in the NBA. That's not hyperbole. That's been proven. He is one of the best scorers in the NBA. Now, just because you're a great scorer doesn't mean, that you don't need to tighten up other parts of your games, but Zach LaVine is a great scorer. He's a great scorer. Kobe, like the cheese, we don't have anybody on the team named Kobe, Shane. I'm just messing with you. Kobe gets out of control way too often. Kobe's pushing it. He's pressing right now. And it's similar to what he did that first year after DeMar and Lonzo came here when his role was coming off the bench, and for a while there, he would just come in jacking off rhythm shots. That's not Kobe's game. Kobe's not a shooter, he's a scorer. And so because of that, it's like he got to find his rhythm. He has to find his rhythm. The attacking the hoop that third quarter and early fourth to get easy buckets was great. Brown was getting beat often. Listen, Ayo Dosunmu, his first step, I don't know where Ayo Dosunmu ranks as the quickest guards in the league overall, but Ayo Dosunmu on that first step, driving wise, him and Zach LaVine gotta both be towards the top of the league. Like we already know Zach LaVine's first step on a drive is amazing. And because he takes those long strides as well, I've always been surprised that Zach doesn't get to the free throw line more. But Ayo Dosunmu, when he's downhill, that first step, and because of his strength and broad shoulders as well, if he gets in the paint on you, it's difficult to stop. It's really difficult to stop. So, let's see that if that's going to continue for him. But Ayo is nasty, bro. He's nasty. Fuck them trades. I don't want to be the Wizards. I mean, listen, if nobody's gonna see, that's the thing. No, the Bulls are never going to be as bad as the Wizards, and people need to understand that this Bulls team in those trades aren't necessarily trying to tank. They're just trying to make sure that they can keep their top 10 pick. Because I tell you what, it's better than staying in the middle of the pack. I get it why everybody doesn't want to see that. I understand that, but you got to understand big picture here. And as Bulls fans, we zoom in on the macro. Hayes, I meant that Zach upped his trade value in this game. He didn't. One game isn't going to up somebody's trade value. It's not going to happen. But Zach LaVine played amazingly well this game. So shout out to Phillips playing like he wants his starting job back. Listen, it doesn't matter to start or not. Like Julian Phillips is playing in a way where you can make a case that Julian Phillips deserves to keep getting minutes. And that's what he needs to do. Julian Phillips is playing so well these last 3 games. Julian Phillips is going to be so good when he's in his vet phase. I can see it. He might be the next Taj, beloved type of a Bull. I don't know if he's at the Taj level. I don't know if I can say that yet, right? But Julian Phillips has so much potential as an energy guy, as a defender. I think the one thing that's going to tell how Julian Phillips like career develops is, does he develop some actual moves, right? Like post moves. Does he develop a go-to move out on the perimeter? How does he create? Is he ever able to start creating his own shot? Those type of things are things I want to look at for Julian Phillips long term. But Julian has so much potential, so much potential. Damn, the Bulls are on a 4-game winning streak in what was supposed to be a tanking season. Is it 4 games? I think it's only 3 games there, bro. Maybe I'm wrong. Hold on, let me check. Yes, it's a 3-game winning streak. 3-game winning streak. But yeah, I mean, listen, it's early in the season, so it is what it is. Instro, you got to come to the realization, bro. I seen you. You're gonna crash out when the Bulls trade Zach. I can tell right now. You're gonna crash out. Like you got to realize, like where this team is, man. Like, yes, this team is winning games now. They're fun. We're still a middle of the pack team, and to get out the middle, you have to either add a star or you have to be bad enough to be able to give yourself an opportunity to draft one. And it's an unfortunate thing. And let me be clear, if the Bulls do move on from Zach LaVine, it's not a failure of Zach. It's a failure of the front offices that have been here under Zach's tenure to put a team together and to make smart enough moves to put a team together that this team could win with Zach consistently. So it's not a knock on Zach. We all know what Zach is. There's too many people knocking Zach all of last year without really paying attention to the reality of it. But it's a sign of failure by the front office to be able to do something in the time frame that they did. It is what it is. It is what it is. And so, I get what you're saying on that. But at the end of the day, like this front office has to pick a path. And that is the path where it looks like right now that they're going to pick. And we'll see. We'll see. This win preserves the culture of competitiveness that is crucial for any team, regardless of the choice to choose the youth movement. Yes, trade Zach and Vooch, but teach the young pups to compete. And that is one of the most important things, that they are competing in every one of these games for sure. Be on the lookout for Jaylen Brown. Here goes Shay with his proclamations. For Jaylen Brown and Peyton Pritchard next game, because they are coming for blood along with Al Horford. I mean, we'll see. I'm not worried about Peyton Pritchard. Don't get why 90% of people say trade Zach trade, then immediately switch up after a great game to don't trade Zach. Make your mind. Well, no, I mean, listen, that'll be too much like right. Fans are very temperamental people. And they are very much oh my God, what are we doing? Like either way, they're going to complain either way. It is what it is. Ayo is nowhere near as good as Jay Crossover. Please stop making smoke. Who said anything about what? I say this, he's a better defender than Jay Crossover for sure. It's about like two-way basketball. People focus too much on one side of basketball to make a total basketball argument. But I don't know who said that, but that's not something that we're talking about here. Why are you praying at another man getting injured? Who's praying for another person to get injured? That's cold blood. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. That's that Toronto Raptors shit. We're not finna pray on people to get injured. That's crazy. K Trip with the super chat. Thank you, brother. Says, look at Williams taking more shots. I mean, listen, I was hoping that the other people, the aggressiveness around Patrick Williams, would wake Patrick Williams up at some point. So, Hayes, if the Bulls beat Boston Saturday and then win against Milwaukee Monday, would you look at them different? Yeah. I mean, I won't lie. Yeah, I'd look at them a little bit different. How do they win, right? Like, I think you have to. If you get 3 wins in a row against teams that are towards the top of your Eastern Conference, like, you have to look at that at least a little bit differently, right? I say at least a little bit. I won't say that it'll change like a huge swing, but you got at least a little bit different. Beating people up. That's why I love the Jailblazers back in the day. You like going to jail? That tracks, Shay. That tracks. That tracks. You strike me as somebody that likes going to jail. Ayo's a starter. It's clear as day. Hey, listen, I feel the same way. I think he's just much better as a starter. He's just much better as a starter. Gonna beat Boston in the first round to get swept in the second. That's crazy. That's funny. That's funny. If we beat Boston in the follow-up game, how long do you think before the preseason 40-plus win truth is start? Oh, listen, they're coming back out now. Best believe. Come back and watch the comments from overnight, from when this live stops to when tomorrow morning when I post the daily. Best believe that the 40-plus win truthers are coming back out full force. They're back. It's coming. You ain't even got to worry about it. This team intact. How high do you see this team ceiling this year? KC, a lot better than the ESPN rating. Shout out to Zach. He should have confidence in this team. For a league that doesn't want tanking, what change would you bring to the draft that would allow a team in the middle like the Bulls to benefit from the draft more? It's nothing. Like, I'm sorry, me, we talked about it in that Discord, Vaughn. Is that there's really nothing that you can do. Like, even if you flatten all the odds, okay, that's going to make incentivize more teams to tank. So it's really nothing you can do to eliminate tanking completely in any league. You just can't. Unless you completely make draft order completely random, which you'll never do. There's nothing in that case. There's nothing. Zach looked like John Gotti out there. And they're like, John Gotti, that's the comp you're going to, Delbert? John Gotti? That's the place we reach, right to John Gotti? All right, cool. Hey, I mean, it is what it is. Horford and Carter's old ass would be the dream team for the Celtics. That's funny. The bald-headed whole squad. Hey, he's off topic, but that year Milwaukee beat us in the playoffs. Do you think if Lonzo Ball never got hurt, we would have won more than 46? Oh, yeah. I think if Lonzo would have never got hurt, the Bulls would have been somewhere between 50 and 52 wins that season. I still think they probably would have got beat in the first round, but I do think that we would have won more games. I think we would have probably pushed it to 6 games, something like that. If we trade in Zach, then MPJ is absolutely a good trade overall for Zach because that's the best player we got mentioned in the exact trade so far. Facts, 100%. Trade Gideon, we're straight. No, that does nothing for a terrible paint defense. It does nothing for us not having a half court offense. It does not. We're straight still to the where we are right now. That's why we're straight, because right to the same spot. The only trade with Denver the Bulls should be considering is Vucevic for Jokic. Come on, like what are we doing? We've had a pretty good stream here. haven't had to lose my shit. The hat's still on. Why y'all just want to say dumb shit? Like why is that the case? Why y'all just want to say dumb shit? I don't understand it. Grizzlies beat Golden State by 50. 50? That's crazy. Do you think this be play different? Do you think this be play different after the All-Star break? Sound it out, my boy. Use ChatGPT. Use Gemini if you got an Android phone. But do I think that the team will play different? Depends on who's still on the roster. That's what it comes down to, and we'll see. But all right, y'all, that is my time for tonight, man. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in and sticking it out with me. Make sure you guys are following the channel. Hit that subscribe button, by the way, as well. Also, if you guys don't know, I've been posting to Substack now. I do written articles for the Chicago Bulls over on Substack. You guys can check that out as well. We got some good shit over there. I'm really proud of what we're building over on Substack. All jokes aside, I think that I'm getting into my rhythm as a writer. I never thought I'd be writing anything. So I'm going to put that in the chat real quick. Y'all make sure I'll go ahead and hit that. Go over there. You can subscribe. It's free. I'm not doing anything paid yet. Maybe if it grows and I feel more confident in it, maybe we start doing some paid articles over there. But everything's free over there. You can sign up. You can get it in your email every single day. But go over there. We're trying to get to 50 subscribers over there. So you can hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the Substack. In exchange for that, I'll be hitting you guys with articles semi-daily, not necessarily daily like the podcast, but the articles are really good. It is what it is, man. The Bulls, this is the Bulls that I like to see. Whether they win or lose, I would love for them to be more competitive and consistent. I feel you there for sure. But all right, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Love you guys. Make sure you guys are following the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, but that's thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See red if you can, y'all. Peace.